there's been talk recently of different crystalline activities or things being activated, and yes, this is indeed true. But it is not only in the places that have been pinpointed, it is many places. It is deep in the core of the earth. And this earth is being quite generous, despite its inhabitants' either receptivity or energies of greed that takes unnecessarily. So are there any other questions or things you would like to discuss?
Will part of mankind's learning come from tragic floods and earthquakes and disasters? Is that partly how we'll find our way?
Well, we think that there is a very clear and easy and gentle way. And for those who can align with that way of waking up, that will be their path. For others, yes, indeed, the earth with its changes and their connections to being part of these, being around this activity as it happens, that will be their way. But there's, as one knows that these great disasters can happen, and there might be someone on the other side of the earth that doesn't even know these things exist and are having quite a delightful day. So beings around the world are having different experiences as they've kind of in some way called forth, but in also other ways in how they've kind of been fated. But everything can be used to awaken the mind. And one can really seek out how can it be quite gentle, how can it be quite fun, how can it be quite exuberant. And the more one aligns to that and decides that this is how I would like to awaken, and this is how I would like to share with others, then it can be so. Then even if things appear on the external within your range to have some kind of catastrophic thing, it's how one responds to it. One may still respond with their awake mind, their conscious mind, and not experience it as devastating. But experiences it just as a shift of energy, or a release of energy. Is this helpful, or would you like to discuss this more?
Krimano ko so shiki samata kestai yushiwake te malokustai shimate iwohokushi siwashita matea.
The ancients are all around you this evening, and they do come with blessings. They do come with their wisdom. They came with their open hearts in wanting to assist their brethren, their fellow mankind, to really anchor into oneself all that which is available, not only from within, but from without. Do each of you know that you are divine? And we don't ask this of your mind. We ask this from the conscious being. Do you feel the kind of the dignified regalness of your divinity, and how precious that is. Mankind has often been raised in a very confused state. The identity that was forming since a child was given very mixed views, and unfortunately, as children, they were adopted, these views, and these views are now being kind of shed. So what is the truth? And it is time to evaluate for yourself what is the truth. And once sought, it will be found, we assure you. For as we said, it is not hidden, nor was it ever intended to be hidden. Are there any other questions or things you would like to discuss?
Would you discuss, please, the energy of influence, the influence coming from those whose agenda is not in accordance with free will choice and the independence of humans? Would you discuss that, please?
Well, this is where the experiment went awry, is that there was a sense of free choice, but there wasn't necessarily the maturity of soul or the conscious remembrance of the soul of what to do with such choices. And then this aggressive, competitive energy began, and it really got taken quite far. And yes, indeed, as you say, there were influences that were less intended for one's highest good, but intended for the other's good. And that was part of where power struggle started coming forth. And power often had a sense of feeding power, and that was the gratitude. But it came from a very off-centered place, a very misconstrued place. And so these energies that have been somewhat feeding on mankind and kind of keeping mankind in a state of confusion will start losing their grip as mankind takes back their seat, comes back into their consciousness, and with that choice chooses the true nature of light. And shed the energies and refuse to participate with the energies that would rather suppress one's light. And that is essentially what darkness would be, the suppression of light. Is this helpful, or is there a more specific thing you would like to ask about these things?
That is very helpful.
This confused state of being that would want to control or overpower or be competitive and not see other as, equal or benevolent, this energy itself will transition, will start losing its will to cause such havoc. It too wants to return to the light. it too wants to heal to its pure state. But in some way it kind of got so confused and so lost, it did not know how to return. But the light at this time will become so strong that it will even reveal to those beings kind of the essence of what they've been doing, and so that there can be even a turnaround of this negative energies, or the disruptive energy. And one should keep one's mind on this, that even those who are of the strongest kind of, that have gone to the extreme of the other side, so to say, that they too need the great compassion to come back to the truth, to the light, to the essence of their nature, which is not disruptive, but which is aligned in a very still and natural vibration. And it is a great advantage to see this as possible, because the view that it is impossible or that it has gone too far away kind of keeps it locked into that conceptual place. It boxes it in a bit. Is there anything else you would like to discuss?
I have a question about, you spoke about the fear and that the need to contemplate the light as everyday people. Is there a specific suggestion you have for a daily ritual that might be useful for ourselves and the planet as a whole?
Well, we would ask that each of you, with your creative minds, come up with your own way of how you connect to light, to love, to the preciousness of your being. And it can be of contemplation. It can be, this is a time I'm going to sit and be peaceful and be still, and to be the radiation of light. And if I'm not feeling so much like I'm the radiation of light, of being that one that absorbs the light that is around oneself. So we are not one to say that there are, this path or this way. There's enough religions out there doing such things. And if you align with one of those ways and it is helpful and it gets you to the same place, then by all means choose that. But ultimately, there is one's own creative way of, it is just putting the attention there. So even if you have a mantra or an affirmation or some practice that you do, it is because you've put attention towards such things. So if you put the attention towards that I am pure love, and I feel that love within me, the deep sources of love, this energy. And again, love is a word, it is just a pure energy. That vibration is pure. And this is my essence. And in this universe, that essence radiates throughout, and I'm connecting to that vastness. The vastness within, the vastness without, and it's one big, vast love, bliss party. After spending a few minutes, few hours there, one feels quite peaceful. One doesn't feel the need to go out and cause chaos in one's life. One can actually spread one's energy, which is more of a kind of a still peacefulness.